Tonight we explore a dystopian world, manipulated by algorithms, corporations, and science. Here, your imagination reflects through an endless labyrinth of circuits, lurking just beneath the surface of the binary mirror. Are we living in all four dystopian nightmares at once? How the 21st century accidentally synthesized every warning into one seamless system. The coffee shop barista scans your face as you walk in. The AI knows your usual order before you speak, charges your linked account automatically, and logs the transaction alongside thousands of other behavioral data points that paint an eerily accurate picture of who you are, where you're going, and what you'll buy next. You don't mind. It's convenient, fast, frictionless. You settle into a corner booth and pull out your phone. 17 notifications wait. Most are meaningless, but the little red badges trigger something primal in your brain, demanding attention like a crying infant. You scroll through a feed that seems to know your deepest fears and desires, serving up content that keeps you engaged for 43 minutes without you realizing it. When you finally surface, you've absorbed 17 political opinions, 4 conspiracy theories, 6 advertisements disguised as posts, and 0 actual news. We're not heading toward dystopia. We're neck-deep in it. But it's not the clean, singular nightmare our cultural prophets imagined. It's all of them, blended into something stranger and more subtle than any single vision could predict. The Four Horsemen, riding together. For decades, we've talked about dystopian fiction like it was a menu of possible futures. Would we get Orwell's totalitarian surveillance state, Huxley's pleasure-drugged passivity, Kafka's bureaucratic labyrinth, Dick's reality-bending paranoia? The question assumed we'd have to pick just one, but we didn't. Instead, the digital revolution has given us a hybrid monster that borrows the worst elements from each vision. We're watched like Orwell's citizens, pacified like Huxley's, trapped like Kafka's protagonists, and confused like Dick's androids. All simultaneously, all voluntarily, all while convinced we're living in the freest society in human history. The most disturbing part isn't that this happened by accident. It's that once we built it, we couldn't stop using it. Huxley's endless scroll. But perhaps the most insidious element is how the system makes itself irresistible. We're not being force-fed soma. We're mainlining algorithmic dopamine hits, delivered through interfaces designed by teams of neuroscientists and behavioral economists whose job is to make digital products as addictive as possible. The average person now checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes during waking hours. We've trained ourselves to exist in a constant state of distraction, always half expecting the next notification, the next update, the next thing to capture our fractured attention. Social media platforms use variable reward schedules, the same psychological mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Sometimes you get something good when you refresh, sometimes you don't. Your brain never learns to stop pulling the lever because the next pull might be the big payoff. The content itself is engineered for engagement, not truth or utility. Outrage drives clicks. Fear drives shares. The algorithm doesn't care if the information is accurate. It cares if you'll interact with it. So we're fed a steady diet of the most emotionally provocative content available, filtered through recommendation systems that gradually push us toward more extreme versions of our existing beliefs. We're not being oppressed. We're being entertained to death, one scroll session at a time. Orwell's convenience machine. The surveillance state arrived wearing the friendly face of convenience. Your smart doorbell doesn't just show you who's at the door, it feeds facial recognition data to law enforcement databases. Your fitness tracker doesn't just count steps, It can detect pregnancy before you know you're pregnant and sell that information to advertisers. Your car doesn't just navigate traffic. It reports your driving patterns to insurance companies that adjust your rates based on how often you brake too hard. China's social credit system gets all the dystopian press, but our version is more sophisticated because it's invisible. Instead of government scores, we have algorithmic credit ratings, recommendation systems, and behavioral prediction models that know us better than we know ourselves. Facebook can predict if you're likely to develop mental health issues based on your posting patterns. Amazon knows you're running low on deodorant before you do. The difference is we volunteered for all of it. Every terms of service agreement you've blindly accepted, every allow cookies banner you've clicked through, every app permission you've granted. You've been methodically signing away pieces of your privacy in exchange for small conveniences. And here's the kicker. It works so well that stepping outside the system feels impossible. Try navigating a modern city without a smartphone, buying anything without leaving a digital trace, or maintaining relationships without social media platforms. The infrastructure of surveillance has become the infrastructure of daily life. Kafka's algorithm. Simultaneously, we've automated bureaucratic absurdity into something far more maddening than any human bureaucrat could achieve. When your Instagram account gets suspended for violating community standards, there's no human to appeal to. The decision was made by an algorithm trained on data you can't see, following rules you can't read, enforced by a system that has no capacity for context or mercy. Try getting a human on the phone at any major tech platform. Try understanding why your YouTube video was demonetized. Try figuring out why your credit score dropped. Try appealing a content moderation decision. You'll find yourself trapped in digital Kafka traps, systems designed to exhaust your will to fight back. The process has become the punishment. Getting banned isn't the worst part. It's the hopeless maze of automated responses, dead-end support tickets, and chatbots programmed to say they understand your frustration while offering no actual help. We've created bureaucracies that are simultaneously more efficient and more inhumane than anything Kafka imagined. The system can process millions of decisions per second, but it can't tell the difference between a breast cancer awareness post and pornography, between historical documentation and hate speech, between journalism and misinformation. Dick's reality fracture. Finally, we're living through Dick's paranoid vision of unstable reality. Deepfakes are now indistinguishable from real video. AI can generate fake news articles, fake photos, fake people. Your newsfeed is a personalized reality bubble, where different users see completely different versions of the same events. During major news events, people living in the same city can have completely different understandings of what happened based on which algorithmic feeds they trust. We've lost the shared baseline of reality that democracy requires, but it goes deeper than fake news. The line between human and artificial intelligence is blurring. AI chatbots pass the Turing test. Synthetic Instagram influencers have millions of followers. Customer service representatives might be humans or might be sophisticated language models. You often can't tell. We're not just consuming artificial realities. We're living in them. When your daily social interactions happen through algorithmic feeds, when your entertainment is generated by AI, when your information comes from sources you can't verify, what does real even mean anymore? What makes our situation uniquely nightmarish is how these systems reinforce each other. Orwellian surveillance enables Huxleynian manipulation. The system watches you to learn how to control you more effectively. Kafkaesque bureaucracy protects Phildickian unreality. You can't appeal algorithmic decisions about what's true or false because there's no human in the loop. The result is a population that's simultaneously surveilled and entertained, isolated and hyper-connected, informed and completely confused about basic facts. We're the first generation in history to build our own cages and then pay monthly subscriptions to stay locked inside them. The most unsettling realization isn't that this is happening. It's that we've become so dependent on these systems that dismantling them feels impossible. How do you opt out of surveillance capitalism when surveillance capitalism has become the basic infrastructure of modern life? We're not being oppressed. We're being entertained to death, one scroll session at a time.